One of the secrets to exposure for your business lies within supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs. One of the secrets to exposure for your business lies within supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs. And that is why the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce is here to connect Black businesses from the desert to the sea. Let's join hands to empower and sustain our community. By becoming a member of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, you can grow your business and increase your clientele. With our innovation, we'll generate new businesses and get new customers. And we'll connect new mindsets with businesses from across Southern California to help bridge the wealth gap. Let's connect, build, and grow together. Join us now at blackchamberofcommerce.org.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to MyTueSense. I am your host, Debra Mcglothurn, Debra P. Mcglothurn, to be exact. I'm a mother, daughter, sister, auntie, cousin, caring, confidant, all of the things, right? I have a master's in business administration and a bachelor's in business. And I have 5 children that have given me degrees that you will never see on the wall. That's a little bit about me. And what is my 2 cents? My 2 cents in a phrase, and I've coined this phrase, that it is motivation through exposure. So I talk about things that I feel that you would like to hear about, you need to know about, things that I feel are necessary and are something that will help you grow, something that makes you think about things, see things a little different, consider some things. So I will be discussing whatever's on my mind. And these are my opinions, so it's my 2 cents, right? So we can't argue about an opinion, right? I'll talk about some of the trending topics, but not necessarily a lot of trending topics, but I will touch on them from here and there. So with that being said, so I share my 2 cents, you share your 2 cents, and together, perhaps we can make some sense and make some minute changes in our lives and the lives of the people around us. So if you have any topics that you would like for me to discuss, you can send it to the email that's on the screen, mytwocents@gmail.com. You can leave a message in the chat, and you can send me an inbox, whichever, and we can have a conversation about whatever that is. So if you also want to be on the show, same thing, you can send me an email, and we can get that out to you. All right. So we did change, for those of you that have been watching before, we also have changed that email address from the McGlothurn@gmail to mytwocents@gmail.com. So mytwocents@gmail.com. The McGlothurn is still good. So if you see that, you see it on one of the videos, you can use that as well. But moving forward, we'll use the mytwocents@gmail. All right. So what is the topic for the day? The topic for the day is tips for making your grocery budget go further. And I was hesitating because I was supposed to be providing a quote for the day, but I forgot to put my quote down, my inspirational quote today. I thought of something, but I didn't write it down. So at the moment, I don't remember what the quote for the day was. I'm sure that I'll think of something and give you that before we come back, before we finish up for today. So again, the topic for the day is tips for making your grocery budget go further. And we'll talk about that when we come back from this commercial break.
Good news for the Southern California business community. Now you can add your business to the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce Business Directory complimentary. We have been working tirelessly to build a list of Black-owned enterprises in Southern California. This is an excellent way for you to be a part of an expansive network and find your ideal customers, business partners, and vendors. So don't waste time. Visit blackchamberofcommerce.org today and add your business today.
And we are back. Welcome back. Again, the topic for the day is tips for making your grocery budget go further. Do you always get to the register and you wonder what in the world it was that you put in a basket for it to be as much as it is? Because all I bought was, it doesn't matter what it was. It doesn't matter how much that you expected to spend going in there. If you don't do some major things before going to the grocery store, there's going to be sticker shock when you get to the register. That's just what it is. It's like, what? How much? $300, $200, whatever it is. It's more than you expected to spend. So, a few things that could help that. And I'm sure a lot of you all know this. What's the number one rule when going grocery shopping? I'll give you a little hint. It rhymes with count your money, but it's don't go hungry. Don't go hungry. Why is that a major rule when you're talking about going grocery shopping? Because when you're hungry, you want everything, absolutely everything. Everything looks good. Oh, everything, it just makes your stomach rumble. When you're hungry, you see things totally different. And because of that, you'll be putting more stuff in the basket. You'll add more and more in there. You're bound. So if you're going to the grocery store hungry, you're bound to spend more money just because you're just throwing it in the basket, Ooh, that looks good. Ooh, I want this tonight. Ooh. And how many of us don't even cook when you go home from the grocery store? I remember we used to do big grocery shopping because we had a family of 7. So you go to the grocery store, you buy all these groceries, you're gonna load them up, unload them, put them away. Don't nobody feel like cooking? So you're always gonna eat out, grab something to eat or something easy, right? So it's like you're going grocery shopping and you spend all of this money, but you're not eating none of that today because we're going, stop by McDonald's or somewhere and get something to eat because I'm tired already, right? But, so the first thing, don't go hungry. The second thing would be to create a shopping list. So if you create a shopping list, it will help you kind of stay on track with what it is that you need. It'll keep you making sure you're not leaving anything out, you're not forgetting anything, that you're getting what it is that you absolutely need. Instead of you going to the store for one thing, come out with 25 things and didn't even get the thing you went in there for. Have you ever done that? I've done that. It's like all I went to the store was for batteries. I got everything but batteries. You don't want to do that. So what we do now, one of the things with that, so if you have a list, you have your shopping list. So if you make that shopping list and you want to stick to your list, an option though to that, so if you're going to, you already know that you're going to find something that's not on the list. Give yourself a budget for the splurge. So give yourself a splurge amount that you can use on items that you didn't have on the list. We have a running list. Whenever we see anything going low, you lose the last paper towel, you want to add it to the list. Had syrup getting low, you want to add it to the list. You open up the last carton of eggs, you want to add it to the list. Because the thing about the groceries, you want to make sure that you have everything you need first, right? Now, what we tend to do is buy a lot more than we expected to, and especially if we're not eating before we go, we're adding a lot of things on there that we probably would not have had we gone on a full stomach. But if you put a splurge amount on there, give you a little budget for splurging, anything that wasn't on the list, it's got to fit in this, and that's all we're going to get, right? And that'll help you save that. But like I said, we have a running list, and we kind of don't necessarily stick to it, but you make sure that you got what you want. The next thing would be to garden harvest. Now, that would be great. It's a huge way to save money. You run your fruits and vegetables, right? Except I don't have a garden yet. You don't have a garden yet. So you can't go out there and get tomatoes. What you going to do? You need tomatoes or tomato sauce or tomato whatever, right? Thing about tomatoes, I'm going to talk about that. Put a pin in that. We're going to come back and talk about tomatoes for a little bit. When you have your garden, I remember I had bought this poblano pepper. It's a pepper plant, and I had a garden of other things, and these were all in pots on the patio, and they were just, doing what they do. But I remember cooking breakfast and going out, and this poblano tree, I didn't even grow the tree. I bought the tree, right? But I was feeding it. I was growing. I was making sure that it continued to grow, along with my greens and my onions and tomatoes and everything else that I had out there, right? But I remember just going out to making breakfast and going out to get this pepper specifically because I wanted to use this, and feeling so good about just being able to go outside and get whatever it was. But that's conversation for another day because we need something now. A garden would be great. It would be fabulous. It would be fantastic if we had it. But if we don't have it right now, that's something we can look to do for the future. Make sure that we have that stuff. And I would suggest that you start considering that and thinking that while you're doing your grocery shopping and all that. So don't go hungry. Create a shopping list. Give yourself a splurge budget. And, think about the garden thing. But that's not the biggest culprit. You know what the biggest culprit is? We're going to talk about that when we come back. That's not the biggest culprit, but we're going to talk about that when we come back from this commercial break. What's the biggest?
Are you ready to change your life? Let us help you. At Youth Build Charter School, you can get a high school diploma and kickstart your dream career in no time. We offer high school diploma programs in construction, CNA, military, college, and entrepreneurship. If you are between the age of 16 and 24 and you want to manage your studies with a job, recover your credits, or graduate early, we can help you achieve your dream. Call us at 1-888-395-4408 or visit youthbuildinlandempire.org.
And we're back. So the topic of the conversation today is tips for making your grocery budget go further. So what is the biggest culprit? The biggest culprit is purchasing pre-packaged meals, pre-packaged food. Anything that's already done up, pre-made meals, Hot Pockets, pizza, French fries, packaged sandwiches, boxed macaroni and cheese, all of these things that if you had the basic stuff in your pantry, you could make yourself with no problem, right? Flavored rice, flavored oatmeal. You can flavor your own oatmeal. You can, and you don't eat all the flavors in the box. You may have 4 flavors in there and you only eat 2 of them. So you have boxes and boxes, packages and packages of the banana or the cinnamon, whatever the kind that you don't like. You can flavor your own oatmeal. Just get regular oatmeal and create your own oatmeal. I remember when McDonald's they started selling oatmeal, and it had the apples and walnuts and cranberries and all this stuff in it. And I think it had, the syrup, the maple syrup in it as well. So I tried it. Just because you can try it one time, right? I tried it and it was really good. And it was basically apples, cranberry, walnuts, and oatmeal with butter and maple syrup. So do you have that stuff at home? Most of the stuff you probably do. Make your own. They're $2 a bowl. for that little package. It's $2, right? Now, you can probably get, and you know, the price of everything is going up right now, but you can probably get a small thing of oatmeal for $2. And that'd be able to go, you know, 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 bowls of oatmeal. But the thing is, if you don't have the stuff in your pantry to prepare it, to make it, then you're gonna do the little quickie stuff. How many soups, how many boxes or packages of, I don't know, cookies and they even have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the freezer, and we're buying them, right? They're not there for nothing. People are paying money for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that's already made. When, of course, you've got bread, you've got peanut butter, you've got jelly in the pantry, right? That's the biggest culprit, the prepackaged meals. So what do we need to do about that? How can we fix that? A lot of people don't feel like they can cook. But when you think about it, the stuff that you're putting together, the macaroni and cheese, what are the little pasta things? I cannot think of what it is called. Shoot, it slipped my mind. I cannot even think of what it is. But it's just like manwich and stuff that you just put together, that everything is in the package and you just put it in there. I can't think of what it's called. But you can make that yourself. Cheeseburger macaroni, that's something that they got it in the box. But can you make that at home? And will it take much extra for you to do that? Some of the things that we do, we spend money on that we really don't have to, because we already have the stuff in there. Now, it could be like you, that you, like some of my kids, have gotten to the place where I'm grown and I'm going to buy what I want to. Because mama wouldn't get this for me when I was younger. I have two culprits. I don't want to use culprits in that way, because we talk about the culprits that's taking your money, your grocery money. But two of my kids have told me about things that they were deprived of growing up. So they make sure they have that. One of them is, my son was with his, what was it? Toaster strudels. That's what it was. It's like, I couldn't get toaster strudels. I could never get toaster strudels. So when he goes to the store, he makes sure that he literally told me today he bought some toaster strudel, because I couldn't remember what it was. So I called him. I was like, what is that? I had pulled it up. I wrote it down, but I couldn't remember if that exactly was it. So I called him to check it. He's like, it's funny because I bought some today, because he felt like he didn't get enough of it when he was a child. So he's grown now. He make his own money. He can buy as much toaster strudel as he wants, and he's going to get it, and he's going to keep it. Another thing was my daughter, Sophia, when she was little, she always asked for Lunchables. You know what my answer was to that? We got Lunchables at home. Crackers, cheese, lunch meat, cookies, what else? Juice. We got that stuff. We got the stuff at home. We already got it at home. We don't need to be, no, we're not spending no money on that. What does she do today? When I tell you this girl, she has stacks of Lunchables. She takes them to lunch with her to work, blah, blah, blah. But she's already got cheese. She's already got crackers. She's already got lunch meat. The money that she spends in Lunchables could definitely be spent on something else. But if it's something that you feel like you've made it and this will make you happy to buy that, okay, you keep that thing. I'm not going to take it away from you. You can have that. But there's so many things that we buy that we don't have to buy. stuff that we can like one of the things is like breakfast sandwiches. Does it really take that long to make breakfast sandwich? I mean, I understand sometimes you're on the go and you're running, but if you're home and you're sitting there and eating, you're gonna make a breakfast sandwich instead of just picking some eggs, some meat, some toast, or egg McMuffin or whatever it is. Macaroni and cheese. You buy a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese. You know, one of the big ones though is the Jiffy cornbread. How much you spend on the Jiffy cornbread? And it's not that it's a lot in itself, but when you take all of those things and you add it up, they come up to a lot of money. It's like, but you're looking at it, there's not really a whole lot of groceries here, but everything is prepackaged, ready to go. All you have to do is, now, one thing that they did do good on is those pancakes, just add water. That's the bomb. You keep that. Because for your eggs and your milk and all the stuff that you'd have to put in there, you're saving money on that. So definitely keep that. One of the other things is to, that you can do also is to buy in bulk. And when I say in bulk, that doesn't mean that you have to buy it all at one time. Buy a little bit here and buy a little bit there. So you can pick an item. What I'd like for you to do is to create a list. Everything that you want in your pantry. Everything that you can make for your favorite meals. Something that if you want to go and make a cake, you want to go and do a dinner, cornbread, anything that you do, your flour, sugar, your eggs, your oil, make sure you have the basic things in your pantry that when you add a little something else, you got it, right? So the same thing that makes cake, same thing that makes cornbread, same thing that makes cookies, all of those same ingredients, you can do all that stuff with. Now, if you bought the cookies and you bought the cake and you bought all the other things, it would definitely eat up your budget. So when I'm telling you that your prepackaged things, the things that you can do without a lot more effort with the things, like even the packaged meals, like the packaged pasta and the flavored pasta and the flavored rice and those things that really you're gonna buy, you're gonna spend money on this. You got seasonings in the pantry. Now, your seasoning might need to get thrown out if you haven't been cooking. You ain't cooked in years and they're caked up, baked up. Now we're gonna toss those out of the pantry and we're gonna start fresh and get stuff going. But one of the things that I think that if you have an idea of where you want your pantry to be, it's easier for you to get there if you're just adding a little bit at a time. Now, I like buying in bulk. And one of the things that I remember as, we started buying things in bulk is like, it's a lot of money when you're talking about buying everything in bulk, but you don't buy everything at one time. So this time you go to the grocery store, you might want to get a case of corn. The next time you want to get green beans. So if you got your canned goods, if you got a well-stocked, got the canned goods, so those quickie stuff, that's where the quickie meals go, and you can get those canned items. But that's one of the ways that you can build up your pantry by just adding stuff a little bit at a time. So you don't have to just go and buy a bunch of stuff. I used to buy like my flour and sugar by 25, 50 pound bags and put them in my canisters. Because we were always cooking something, always doing something. And then there's food there. There's ingredients there that you can make just about anything because it's already here. Oh, I found a recipe. Like I'm one of those people that if I want to create something or I want to cook something, I don't want to have to run to the store for an ingredient. I'll fix something else instead. I would rather that than to run to the store because I decided that I wanted to make XYZ to just do it right then. Now, if I planned ahead and I know I'm going to have to go and get these items, then yeah, I will go and get if I wanted to make sweet potato pie and I really wanted to do that. I will make time and get, go to the grocery store and get whatever it was that I need, probably sweet potatoes. But if you got them in the can, that works too. And that's another thing. When you go from the canned items, the frozen items, now, when you're talking about health-wise, fresh and frozen are going to be healthier for you. When you have the prepackaged meals, they're going to give you more sodium. They're going to have a lot of preservatives. It's just things that come along with that in order for it to be able to stay on the shelf for any amount of time. They have to add it to this. So health-wise, if you're looking at fresh, frozen, and canned items, and even canned items going to have some kind of preservatives in there, even though the method that they use and the cans that they use a lot of times are also keeping them fresher for a longer period of time. But the thing about the fresh is that it will go bad. And that's money flying out the door as well. So if you bought those strawberries yesterday and today they already going bad, that's not cool. So if you know that you don't eat those strawberries faster than they go bad, or the blueberries, or whatever kind of fruits or vegetables that you buy, get the frozen version of it. If you know, like, I'm a blueberry person. I love blueberry pancakes, right? But I'm not a fresh blueberry type of person. I will eat them. I will put them in my yogurt and stuff because it's there, if it's there. But for the most part, I like frozen. What's the thing about frozen? One thing, if they freeze it at its peak, so it's the freshest that you're going to find it, frozen. Unless you go into the garden and just picking them out of the garden. But they're ready whenever I'm ready, rather than sitting in the refrigerator and, oh, now they're going bad. You're picking around them because some are good, some are bad. What we're going to do with this? Or I want to make smoothies and they're no good. But if you buy the frozen ones, they last longer. So that may be an option for you for your fresh frozens. For your fruits and vegetables rather than getting the fresh. So you're not wasting. So if you're buying fresh green beans, if you're not going to eat them, you got to pick them, cook them. I don't know how long they last, but if they're going to go bad, before you get ready to cook them, you might want to try doing the frozen version of that. 2 reasons, like I said. They're healthier. They're frozen at their peak, so they keep more of their nutrients than going through the grocery store. By the time they get to the grocery store, they've been picked a long time ago. So they've already lost some of the nutritional value. But it's better than the prepackaged meals. Now, there's a lot of companies that have gotten better at making their prepackaged meals healthier for you. And like I said, there's certain things that you want to keep on hand. Certain things, like something for me would be like burritos. Just toss it in the microwave and out the door with it, right? But if you have your pantry stocked with your basics, and I mean basics, you'd be surprised at how many things you can actually make out of that. Your rice, your beans, your greens, your flour, your sugar, your honey, your brown sugar, all of this stuff. Like I said, cakes, cookies, cornbread, all of that stuff uses the same ingredients. And one thing I like to do, like with like the Toll House cookies, right? The recipe that they have for the Toll House cookies, and you add the cookies to it, you got all that stuff in the pantry if your pantry is stocked. So, okay, I don't want to make chocolate chip cookies, but maybe I want to make M&M cookies, or maybe I want to make oatmeal cookies, or maybe I want to make. I used to make these one cookies I called it, because this was my own concoction, cookie clusters. And it's like you can just add a few this and add a few that and change the recipe, but you already got everything at home. The coconut. So if you start with a pantry list of stuff that, everything that you can think of, because you're not going to get it all at one time. You're going to gradually build your pantry up where it has everything in there that you need it. When you spend, I said I was going to check on the prices, for example, for the Lunchables. But if you're getting, for example, with the Lunchables, you're getting lunch meat, crackers, cheese. You got this stuff already. The Lunchables are just adding to that stuff that you already have in stock, right? You got, even though some people don't like leftovers, they like meal prep. It sounds better. It sounds like you didn't make this when you made the rest of the food that I ate. But it's the same thing. It's just preparing in advance in order for you to be able to feed yourself so that you're not stopping to pick up something or eating something that's not healthy for you or going without, which is even worse. So if you establish a plan, get your budget together. You can have a budget. You can still work with the same budget, work within the budget that you have. If you don't have a budget, establish a budget so that you know, if you go back through your charges and you look at how much you spend on groceries, how much you spend on eating out, how much you spend on just food in general. And of course, household groceries is going to be not just food, but it's going to be household products and cleaning supplies, paper goods, all that kind of stuff as well. When you look at what you spend and you see what you spend and you see how much more than you really thought that you were spending on this. Because if you're spending, let's see, for a family of 2, 3, I guess it depends on how often you go in the grocery store. When I was growing up, we used to go to the commissary probably once a month. And we loved going grocery shopping at the commissary. We would come out of there with 2 baskets loaded, like high up out the basket. And we loved when my daddy went because Daddy get all the Zuzus and Wham Whams, all the snacks, all the good stuff. So when you go to the grocery store and you have an idea of what it is that you want, if you were going to get your 2 items, your 2 canned vegetables, whether it's tomatoes, which I said I was going to talk about that, tomatoes, green beans, sweet peas, corn, soup, because the soup is a good thing to have on hand for those times that you need it. When you need them, you need a quick meal, maybe you were sick, blah, blah, blah. Somebody was sick, and that's good for them. You want to have that stuff in the pantry just for those particular type of occasions. But you don't want that to be your everyday food. You want to be able to eat healthy, but not bust the budget with trying to do it. Let's see. I know my daughter's going to be like, you were talking about me? You talking about Mad Lunchables? That girl love her Lunchables. So where does all the money go? So I want you to check the pantry and check the freezer for how much prepackaged goods that you have and start weeding things out. So if you're buying, they have whole hamburgers and sandwiches. Like, some things I can understand that you want to have in there, but if everything's there, is all these big, beautiful, colorful boxes that's in the freezer. It's not just meat and vegetables and frozen, fruits and vegetables. You got boxes of this and packages of that and boxes of this all up in there. You want to think about it. You want to rethink that. Now, something that we started eating here lately is the French toast sticks. I like the French toast sticks. better than French toast. I don't care for French toast in general, but I like the French toast stick, so that's different for me. But for you, if that's something that it can go either way, maybe you don't want to spend money on the French toast sticks. Maybe you can just make some French toast, right? So if you have that mindset that I can make this, when you think about the hamburger helper, that's what I couldn't think of a while ago. Hamburger helper, right? You have a hamburger helper and it has pasta and it has seasoning and it has, what else is in there? I don't even remember because it's been so long since I even looked at it. But that's basically it. If you already have tomato sauce, and you already have all of your seasonings, and you already have cheese, and you already have pasta, just plain pasta noodles that you can put in anything. You can make it a salad, you can make it hot, you can make it cold. You understand what I'm saying? And that's another thing, the prepackaged, you have the mixed salads, you have the potato salad, you have the coleslaw, all this stuff that's prepackaged that you could do yourself very easily. If that's something that you like, that's something that you want to do, but you can consider if that's something that you can rework or do a little bit different and save some money on that, because sometimes we're spending money that we don't necessarily have to spend. If you have all these boxes and you know the boxes and packages is a lot bigger than what's actually inside, right? Even with cereal, the box is a lot bigger than what the contents of that box is. So when you think about the fluff that you're paying for, like the box of the what do they call the little peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, Uncrustables? How much are those things? I know it's more than a loaf of bread and some peanut butter and jelly that you already got in the pantry, right? Just when you think practically about what it is that you're spending money on, just making sure that you're putting it in the place that you want to put it on. And I'm okay with, you can splurge here and there, but does that need to be the norm? I think the norm should be, and one of the other things that's super practical is the price of the cake mixes. They've gotten super easy, super inexpensive, but you still have to add your oil and your eggs usually, right? So you might as well start with the flour, do the flour and the sugar and the eggs and all. If you have all that stuff that you can mix however it needs to be for this thing and mix the same stuff for that thing, right? We can make tortillas with the flour. We can make cornbread. We can make cake. We can make cookies. We can make biscuits. We can make all of this stuff from flour and butter and sugar and salt, whatever, right? Basic pantry. So what are some of the practical steps? So create a pantry list. Like I said, your rice, your flour, butter, eggs, oil, whatever. And I say eggs, but most of the pantry stuff is going to be stuff that you put on the shelf. And then the other stuff is going to be stuff that you put in the freezer, something that you can keep for a long time. That's ready when you are. So create a pantry list. Throw out any seasonings that you have to think about. Is this old? Yeah. Is that old? Get rid of it. If it's caked up, get rid of it. That's not going to inspire you to cook, want to, and you're, trying to break up your brown sugar. You're trying to uncake this seasoning, whatever it is that's been in there for years that you haven't used. Throw it out, right? So create a pantry list. Throw out any old seasonings and spices if you think that it's old, right? Because if you think it already is, it already is. And the third one, practical step, would be to prioritize one of your favorite meals. So if you have a favorite meal, check your pantry. to see if you have everything that you need to create this meal. So say, for example, it's spaghetti. You love spaghetti. You like to cook, you like to eat spaghetti. Do you have pasta? Do you have pasta sauce? Do you have whatever kind of meat in the freezer that goes in there? Seasonings and cornbread and eggs and all that kind of stuff. Most ingredients are basic. Most recipes have basic ingredients that you more than likely have in your pantry, or you should have in your pantry. Just basic ingredients. Now, sometimes a particular recipe will call for something that you don't really use. And it may not be something that you use. Maybe you use it for that one time and never think about it again. But if there's something that you like to cook, and that's where you're starting on building your pantry up. Make sure that you have the items in there already. So you're not spending all this extra money when you go into the grocery store on that pre-prepared, pre-packaged foods. Another thing, just like garlic bread. It's convenient to have the garlic bread in the freezer, but how easy is it to make garlic bread? You can make garlic bread with whatever bread you got. Some butter, some garlic, some parsley, put in it, right? Do we need to spend that money on a prepackaged garlic bread? Not necessarily. Some things you'll want to buy just because of the convenience of it, but when you look at the list and see what it is that you have in your freezer, in your refrigerator, in your pantry, is it those colorful boxes of prepackaged fluff? Because you're not hardly getting as much as you should in there. Tomatoes. I said I was going to come back to tomatoes. Tomatoes are so useful in so many ways. I used to have a neighbor when I was in Georgia. They had 22 tomato plants. Tomatoes are good for you too. So they kept me stocked with some tomatoes. And I would can tomatoes because it's like I can use tomatoes in every meal for something or another. You like what is that? Mexican rice? What is that? Seasoning. Tomato sauce. Tomatoes. Rice. Just basic ingredients. A lot of the stuff that you buy that is prepackaged, you have the stuff in there, or it's so easy for you to have that as a regular pantry item. Canned and frozen, so it has a longer shelf life, right, than fresh. But of course, there's certain things that you want to have fresh anyway. But if it's something that's gonna spoil, maybe you want to think about, like we still do fresh blueberries because my daughter loves the fresh blueberries. I'm a frozen blueberry girl. But if they're there, I'll use them, I'll cook with them, whatever. But the frozen blueberries just gives me whatever I want, whenever I want. So if I want to make some blueberry pancakes, just plop a few in there and they explode just when they're supposed to in that pancake mix. Or whatever I want to add them to. If I want to add it to yogurt, make a parfait, the frozen blueberries go so well on top of that. And it colors it in ways that the fresh blueberries, okay, you have to really, really cook them to get there. But just think about that. So prioritize one of your favorite meals. So your practical steps: create a pantry list, throw out any old seasoning, prioritize one of your favorite meals, or maybe two of your favorite meals, to make sure that you have the basic items in there. So if you got a wild hair and you're like, I'm gonna make that spaghetti today, I'm gonna make that meatloaf today. And what is a meatloaf? It's not that hard. Now for me, I use oatmeal in my meatloaf rather than cracker crumbs or breadcrumbs like some people may do. But tomato sauce, peppers, onions, just regular ingredients. And if you look at a recipe and you realize that it's just regular stuff, it's super simple. You look at a recipe and say, I can do that. I can do that. And especially if it's something that you really like, you'll learn how to cook it well. You'll learn how to cook it well. We talked before about doing something that you feel like you're not that great at. Just practice. We'll get you there. Practice. The more you do it, the more confident that you'll get in whatever it is you're doing. The better it is that you will get at completing that or knowing what to look out for. I have gotten my series, quote unquote, series of sewing here lately. I feel like I want to make something every week. So actually, if you're on my Facebook, you see that I posted this outfit that I created. I designed, I drew it up, I put it together, and I made it. Now, me and my sewing machine have been getting to know one another. I've had it for a little over a year, about a year and a half, but I've just really gotten into really using it and finding out what it is that it can do. The more that I use it, the more that I understand. I just learned last night that it had an automatic needle threader. How come I ain't been using that? Because I didn't know it was there. But the more I use it, I was making this jacket and I had to do buttons, buttonholes and stuff. I didn't know how to do it on this machine. So I was like trying to figure it out on this machine, how to use this machine. And it told me about a lever that I needed to put down for the buttonhole maker. I was pulling down the lever that was supposed to be for me to thread my needle with. Because I was like, what is this? How does it go down? It's not staying down. I was like, why isn't this thing staying down? Then I found that there was another lever back there that was for the buttonhole maker. And that lever was for the automatic needle threader. And it was like, the more that you work with things, the more comfortable you are with it. Me and the sewing machine, we've been fighting, about different things. I've been making a bunch of stuff, but I've been making different stuff. So I have new challenges with each thing that I do. So with each thing that I do, I learn the sewing machine more. With each recipe that you try, you learn more with cooking. With each time that even if you're doing the same thing over and over, you may have different versions of the spaghetti that you like, right? I like ground beef and sausage, and I also like sausage with peppers and onions. That's like the big peppers and onions. I like it like that too. Now my spaghetti, I normally have my sauce and my pasta separate. Some people like to mix it up together. Maybe you like it both ways. But just try something different. Try something that you already know that you like. And just find ways of making it your own. Just get a recipe. To start from there, make it just like they have it on the recipe to begin with. And then from that, try different things. Even if I'm trying something at a restaurant or somewhere else for the first time I have it, I'm going to have them fix it for me exactly the way it came. So I'll know where it started at. So then if I want to tweak it, I want to add something or take away something, I already know what the baseline is. So that's basically for your pantry. If you have the basic necessities in the pantry, you don't have to worry about, oh, we don't have any more bread. You've got some flour, some yeast in there. You can do some 60-minute rolls. When I started making the 60-minute rolls, I absolutely loved it. And what I found is that with that dough, you can do anything with it. With the same dough. There's flour and water and milk and butter. With the 60-minute rolls recipe, I made the rolls. I made cinnamon rolls. I made pizza. All you need is a basic, somewhere to start, and you can build up on top of that. So the topic for today again was what? Tips for making your grocery budget go further. Now we got into a number of different things with this, but they all work hand in hand with spreading your dollars a little further. Keeping more in your pocket so you can do a little something else with it, right? So let's see. So my challenge is to check your pantry to see if you have the basic to create some of your favorite meals, and if not, start there to stacking your pantry. And if you do have it, go make from scratch. One of the things that you might want to do is, sometimes it costs us more money to learn something, but once you get it, it's like they say, if you give a person a fish rather than teaching them how to fish, give a person a fish they'll eat for one day. If you teach them how to fish, they can eat for the rest of their life, right? When you learn how to cook things that you don't normally cook, haven't even tried, but you love it, and now it's become your go-to because you love it, and you'll have the stuff in the pantry because the pantry is stocked. Why wouldn't I make my own Alfredo sauce, spaghetti sauce, macaroni and cheese, right? If you have the stuff there, why not? And it's not that the time takes so much more, because how much more time does it really take to, if you really want to talk about it, if you want to make macaroni and cheese on top of the stove, the amount of time that it makes to do the box macaroni versus you doing your homemade macaroni on top of the stove is not really a difference, right? You're gonna cook the pasta and you're gonna add the cheese and butter and mix it up, right? If you're doing the stovetop method, right? Is it really that much difference in time? It's definitely that much is definitely a difference in how healthy it is for you. Is definitely much difference in the flavor that it gives for you, because it can be, it's the difference in feeding someone, just throwing something in there, just getting something in your belly, than it is to preparing a meal that you're proud of. So again, the topic for the day was tips for making your grocery budget further. I hope I've given you some inspiration, some ideas, or some things that you can do to try to spread your budget. Some things for you to look out to minimize on the extra stuff that you don't need. The cookies, the Zuzus, the Wham Whams, the prepackaged meals, all that stuff that, it's cool to have it from time to time, but, you can make that. Your cookie jar. What's in your cookie jar? Do you have a cookie jar? Do people have cookie jars these days? I don't know. But if you don't, you can get you a cookie jar and start making your own cookies. Create your own concoction. Create your own recipe. Make your own thing. And have the family join you in doing that, whether you have little kids or not. It's just something to do. People are always trying to find things to do as a group, as a couple, individual, learning something new, trying something different. Try a meal, try cooking. Anyway, that's it. Today, that topic was tips for making your grocery budget go further. And we talked about a bunch of other little stuff that can help your budget go further and to get you excited about getting in the kitchen and cooking and trying new things. And there's my 2 cents. That is the show. And I hope you learned something. I hope you got something out of it. If you have any topics that you would like for me to discuss, please send me an email at mytwocents@gmail.com. Right? So with my 2 cents, I'll share my 2 cents. Hopefully you share your 2 cents. And together we can make some sense and make some minute changes in our lives and the lives of people around us. Thank you. I'll see you all next week.
One of the secrets to exposure for your business lies within supporting Black businesses and entrepreneurs. And that is why the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce is here to connect Black businesses from the desert to the sea. Let's join hands to empower and sustain our community. By becoming a member of the Southern California Black Chamber of Commerce, you can grow your business and increase your clientele. With our innovation, we'll generate new businesses and get new customers. And we'll connect new mindsets with businesses from across Southern California to help bridge the wealth gap. Let's connect, build, and grow together. Join us now at blackchamberofcommerce.org.